Is it good? No, clearly not. It reminded me a lot of Gossip Girl, except Victorian. Do I think that Twitter is the place to address that? No. Hi guys, welcome back to Beautifully Bookish Bethany, where I have new videos every week about books and the geeky mom lifestyle. Today is my birthday, and I have these lovely cards from my very sweet sons. And I'm starting a brand new reading vlog where I'm going to be trying to read these 5 books in 5 days. And in case you're wondering what these books have in common, they are all romances that are considered PG. So for those of you, because I know some of you are out there looking for these recommendations, if you like romance, but you don't want a lot of explicit content or smutty bits in your romances, hopefully this vlog will help you find some good options. So as some of you guys know, in the last couple of years, I have definitely become more of a romance reader, where it is now one of the primary genres I read. And while I don't necessarily have a problem with having some explicit content in some of the romance that I read, I do tend to prefer things that are heavier on the plot. And I know from some of your guys' comments and interactions with me that some of you, for a variety of reasons, prefer to read romances that don't have a lot of explicit content. And so I thought this would be an interesting video to do. I'm going to show you the 5 books I'm planning on reading, and I'm excited to tell you that I am partnering in this video with Shadow Mountain Publishing. 2 of the books that I'm going to be reading are by them. This video is sponsored by them, and I was really excited when they reached out to me because I thought this would be kind of a fun video to do and hopefully something that's helpful for you guys. So Shadow Mountain Publishing publishes this line of romances called proper romances. They're basically what I said, PG romances. And actually, when I talked about a couple of these in a recent book haul, I got a couple of comments from some of you guys saying you had read some of these books and really enjoyed them, which is great because you never know for sure what you're going to get. So 2 of the 5 books I'm reading are from Shadow Mountain Publishing. They kindly sent me these copies to check out and share with you guys. Both of these are historical romances. I do really like historical romances, but I don't think that's all they publish. I do think they have some contemporary proper romances, but I really like historicals, so I'm excited about these. First up, we have Rakes and Roses by Josie Kilpack. This is the story of a widow who had been in an abusive marriage when a former gambler and rake is injured, and she brings him to her estate to care for him, and of course a romance blossoms. So I'm excited to check this one out. And then the other book they sent me, which came out in April, is Lakeshire Park by Megan Walker. And this one follows a woman with a younger sister whose stepfather is about to die, and when he does, the 2 of them will be left penniless. And so when she gets an invitation to the estate of Lakeshire Park, she's determined to go and try to encourage a marriage between her younger sister and their host, Sir Ronald, so that her younger sister will be taken care of. However, there's another guest, the arrogant and overconfident Mr. Peter Wood, who is there with the same agenda for his younger sister. And so the 2 kind of have to go head to head, and it seems like kind of a rivals to lovers romance, which sounds like a lot of fun. So thank you so much to Shadow Mountain Publishing for sending those. I will leave a link to these down below if you guys want to check them out, and feel free to go check out the entire proper romance series if you are looking for some romance that is a little bit more PG but still has great love stories. So I will let you know my thoughts as I get to these in the video. The other 3 books that I'm going to be reading in this vlog are The Amish Teacher's Dilemma by Patricia Davids. I have read one other book by her and was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. This one follows a woman who is a spinster who takes a job as a school teacher in another county, and her neighbor is a blacksmith who is raising his younger brothers and sisters after their parents had passed away. We'll see if I can get these all read in 5 days. Like, this is the goal. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm going to try. I also have one that's been on my TBR shelf for a while, Princess Ever After by Rachel Hauck, part of the Royal Wedding series. And this is like very, very tropey, right? It's about a small town girl who didn't know that she was actually secretly born as a princess. And I just enjoy this kind of stuff. It kind of reminds me of like The Princess Diaries, except a little bit more grown up. And I think this is like a romance between her and the stoic minister of culture who's sent to retrieve her. And there's like political elements to it. And the cool thing about this is that I'm pretty sure it's available on Scribd, which is great. So I have a couple of audio options. The other one that I have is an audio option because right now I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks. The other one is one that I've been wanting to read for a while, and so I was super excited because I saw it's part of the Audible Escape package, which I also have. And this is If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberly and Austin Siegemund-Broka. This is a YA contemporary romance, and it is a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew. I've heard fantastic things about this. The authors are actually a real life couple. They're now married. I think they were engaged when they wrote this, and I've been meaning to read their stuff for a while. So that is a long intro. There are the 5 books that I'm going to be reading, and since it's my birthday, I'm going to start one today. And I think we're going to start with Rakes and Roses. I love the cover. I'm excited to dive into some historical romance. Tonight, we're also going to be watching the brand new Emma, so I feel like this will give me all the feelings and vibes that I need to really be ready to watch Emma. Also, today I'm doing a live stream for my birthday. I think it's gonna be super fun, and I'm just excited for it. Oh, and guys, I cut my own hair. This is my COVID haircut. It was time. I needed a haircut before this all happened. God knows when the salons are going to be open again, so I just did it. And it is such a relief because my hair was so long. I think I cut off 6 inches and it's still not short. Getting ready to go live. My birthday live stream starts in a minute. I've got a glass of wine. I've got some questions. It's going to be fun. I'll try to film a couple little clips. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how people do this, like Books and Lala. So did I remember to take footage in the middle of the live stream? No, I did not. However, I did drink most of my glass of wine. I had a really good time. We hung out for almost an hour, answered questions, talked about Midnight Sun. It was a good time. I will link it up above if you are interested in checking it out. How do people remember to do this? Maybe if you set it up beforehand and film a lot of it, but yeah, oh well. I am reading Rakes and Roses. I read about 60 pages of it. It actually reminds me a lot of some of the Christian romance that I used to read when I was a teenager, but much less misogynistic, which is a positive thing because having reread that, I did a reread project a while back. And one of the things that really stood out to me is how much of an issue the gender roles in those books were. And this definitely doesn't have that, which I appreciate. In fact, in this book, the woman maybe has a stronger power dynamic than the man. It is a little bit moralistic, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think it just depends on what you're looking for in a book. The hero has kind of ruined his life with gambling and drinking and now has the chance to change it in a positive way. And I think I feel like the romance is going to be enough of a slow burn that hopefully he'll change his ways before they fall in love. That's kind of what I'm hoping and what I think it's leaning towards, which is good because that would be an issue, right? If it's oh, love made him change. Because I just think women deserve better than that. I will say there's definitely small things in here, not main plot things, but small things that I'm a little okay, things that are supposed to be jokes that make it clear the author's probably kind of uncomfortable with more effeminate men. I feel that probably shouldn't be in here in this day and age, but it's not the main plot of the book. So far, I'm liking it. So we finished Emma. What did you think of it? You liked it.
Yeah, it was good. I tried to keep it a little modern without being modern.
It reminded me a lot of Gossip Girl, except Victorian. That was definitely the vibes I was getting, the way the actors were doing it. It's really different. I know people have mixed feelings on the Gwyneth Paltrow one. I really liked it. I think you fell asleep in it when I made you watch it.
I don't remember seeing it, so I must have fallen asleep.
Yeah, you probably fell asleep. This, at least you stayed awake. It was funny. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bye.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Obviously, this is going up very belated, but today is Mother's Day. I took some Instagram pictures. I've been doing a little reading, so I'm going to update you guys. And to celebrate, I am going to go get a very fancy donut. So I will take you with me and show you. There's this fancy donut place near us that has really good, interesting donuts, and they are open for pickup and delivery. So I'm going to go get one of their fancy special Mother's Day donuts. Hopefully they're not sold out because I'm always late, but even if they don't have the one I'm thinking I want to get, they still have some good stuff. I started another book. I am still reading Rakes and Roses physically, but I also started my first on audio. So I'm listening to If I'm Being Honest. And so far I'm really enjoying it. I see why people like it. The main character is this teen girl who's super popular and is very brutally honest with people and has hurt a lot of people in the process and is starting to realize that. This is kind of a retelling of Taming of the Shrew, but it really also gives me vibes, I guess understandably, of 10 Things I Hate About You. How many of you guys were into that movie as teenagers? I loved it. This kind of reminds me of that. I think if you liked 10 Things I Hate About You, you will probably enjoy, if I'm being honest. Once I started reading this, I realized maybe this is less PG and more PG-13. There is like a kind of slightly racy makeout scene near the beginning of the book that ends up going horribly wrong. So there is that. But I'm really liking it. I like the prickly main character. I don't know why I enjoy that in books, but I seem to like prickly girls, which apparently is kind of an unpopular opinion. I see a lot of reviewers not liking prickly or unlikable female characters. I'm enjoying this one. I'm gonna listen a little bit more on audio while I'm walking to pick up my fancy donut, and I will take you guys along with me. Okay, so this is my very exciting outfit today. I've got jeans, a black tank top, and a pink cardigan. It's very comfortable. Quarantine, guys. I am off. Got my headphones. I'm on my way to pick up my fancy donut. I'm slightly regretting not wearing a warmer jacket because it's windy, but I think I'll be fine once I'm in the sun. So it's a beautiful day in New York today, guys. Mother's Day, they're sold out of most everything, but I did get myself a maple cruller and a glazed old fashioned for my husband. This is the thing with wearing masks, is it like takes off all the makeup like in this part of your face, but at least it's cute. So I've got my coffee and my donut. They make delicious donuts. So if you're ever in New York looking for them, check them out. This is really funny. It's got great banter and a girl who's learning how to be a kinder person. I'm really, really enjoying it. Hey guys, I thought I would update you. I've been reading this afternoon. I have about 100 pages left in Rakes and Roses. And I've got to say, I'm really liking this. Honestly, I wish this is the sort of thing that had been out when I was a teenager, when I was reading, like similarly PG conservative-ish romance books that had such unequal power dynamics between men and women and so much misogyny. And this, I love the main character. She is just like strong and powerful and knows what she wants and isn't afraid to make waves. There's so much great dialogue between her and the guy who I think is going to end up being a love interest. And it's interesting. One thing I will say about it is the romance, like they're starting to now form a relationship, but the first half of the book is not really that. It's kind of more backstory on her, backstory on him, and then her kind of saving him. He was an alcoholic and a gambler, very, very deep in debt, was badly beaten, and she kind of saved him and took him to her estate to take care of him. And there's more to the story that I don't want to spoil, but I love Lady Sabrina as a character. She's so fantastic. And there's so much great conversation about gender inequality, especially as it was for women living during this time period. I am really, really enjoying it. This does have like some slightly religious elements to it, but without getting super preachy, which I appreciate. It's very character driven, and it definitely deals with some more serious issues. Obviously, we've got alcoholism, gambling, and Lady Sabrina is a widow, and in her first marriage, her husband was abusive, and even because of his abuse, lost a baby, miscarried. So that's pretty intense, and there's some like addressing of that, of like the trust issues that come with that and the trauma that come with that. I will probably update you guys on this one again once I'm done with it. I'm hoping to finish it tonight. 5 books in 5 days might have been a little bit ambitious. It is day 2. I do think I'm probably going to finish this one today, and maybe I'll finish my audiobook tonight. We'll see. I'm like, this weekend, I feel like I haven't done much and I'm feeling like I want to move. So I think I might like get on the elliptical this evening and pop in my headphones and listen to some more of the audiobook. So we'll see. But for now, Let's see if I can finish this before I need to go make some dinner. So I just got to this really funny passage. She sees him trying to hide something and is like, what is it? Because he had been an alcoholic and wanted to make sure it wasn't alcohol. Turns out he was hiding that he'd been learning how to knit from her like housekeeper. And she's like, knitting? And he says something like, well, you were the one who told me I needed something constructive to do with my time. Reading and whittling, perhaps. Appropriate male pastimes, you mean? He raised a single eyebrow in reprimand. You're the one who says a woman should have the same opportunities as a man, so why can't a man knit? Especially if he's inclined toward the skill of it, for it most certainly takes skill to do well. I just thought that was really funny. I enjoyed it. Like, I like the way this is playing with, like, gender expectations, and in this story, Lady Sabrina, is definitely the one who has more power financially and otherwise. So, guys, I'm, like, right near the end, and, like, talk about romantic words, at least for me. He says, I want to prove to you that I am a trustworthy man, Sabrina. I do not want to take charge of you. I just want to be with you and know everything about you. I want to walk with you along riverbanks and sit across from you at dinner. I'm going to finish this up and then I'll touch base. All right, guys, so I finished it. I really, really liked it. It's so romantic. I mean, this is what I find romantic anyway. The whole thing of him, the things he says at the end of just like wanting to be with her and find a way for her to still keep her independence and wanting to be a friend and a partner and just loving her. And it's so great. The gender dynamics and the power dynamics are so much better in this. It is so not misogynistic in ways that I wish that this sort of thing that I was reading as a teenager had been. I wish that this was the kind of thing that was getting published back then that I was reading. This was like very pleasantly surprising to me. I might see myself rereading this in the future. It does have mild references to like God and faith and stuff, but it doesn't take over the plot. It's not super preachy. I really liked it. In terms of rating, I'm going to sit on it. I think it's probably going to be something like 4.5 stars, but it's like so swoony. I really, really liked it a lot. So yeah, it's been a nice, chill Mother's Day. I've like done a lot of reading, and I'm gonna keep listening to this. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this. I had a feeling I was gonna like this based on how people talk about it, but it's really fun. It's very funny. This is definitely the sort of thing I like. I think I'm gonna like exercise a little bit and listen to some more if I'm being honest. I'm pretty happy. Can I do 5 books in 5 days? I don't know. We're on day 2, but I finished one. I am well into another. We're making good progress. First time I've done that kind of workout in a while, so it's a little rough, but feel good. I'm loving the audiobook. It's hilarious. This is like a really, really fun rom-com. Definitely would recommend it. I'm glad it's living up to the hype, at least so far for me. Well, hey, I finished book 2. I'm about to go to bed now. I loved this. Because they're actually studying Taming of the Shrew in class, they get into some of the problematic and misogynistic pieces of it. This is just done so well, and there is a very nerdy grand gesture at the end of the book that I just loved. So if you like geeky love stories, this is kind of a fun one. Popular girl getting into geeky things. It's really good. I really enjoyed this a whole lot. We'll for sure be reading more from this writing duo as well. So far, pretty good. 2 books in 2 days. I have one other one available on audio, so I'm going to be listening to this one. I'll listen to this tomorrow, or at least parts of it. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know. Good morning. It is Monday, and I'm about to get into doing some work with the quarantine schedule. My husband and I have worked out. I get the next about 2.5 hours to get some work done while he's got the kids outside and does some early morning school with them, and then I take over for the rest of the day. So what's on my agenda? I've got to do a few things for Patreon. I have a couple of book reviews to write. I have some editing to do if I've got time for it. So I don't know. We'll see how much I can kind of squeeze into the time that I have. This is basically what it is me like cramming as much as I possibly can into my scheduled work hours. Since we don't have a babysitter, neither me or my husband get actually as much time as we would like to get at the moment, but we're making it work. I have been listening to Princess Ever After, and so far I'm not that impressed. I mean, maybe I should have known it was going to be cheesy. It's definitely pretty cheesy, but of course it is. It's like this lost princess trope. It's just a little like over the top silly, although I could see actually enjoying watching this as a super dumb Netflix movie. Like, I don't know if any of you guys watched, what is it? The Royal Prince? I'll put a picture on the screen here. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's like a holiday silly royalty movie that's so bad that it's entertaining to watch. This is exactly that sort of thing. I feel like it's so bad it would be really entertaining to watch. It is about a lost princess, so she doesn't know that she's the heir to this made-up kingdom, and she lives in Tennessee and recently quit her CPA job to start a car restoration business. It also does this thing that I'm kind of not in love with. This is another one that I think is more of like a Christian romance, and our heroine is like 28 or 29 and still hasn't kissed anybody and is like saving her first kiss, which I don't know. I'm kind of over that as like a thing in books, probably because I had such negative experiences with that, having that put on me as a teenager. So I feel like we should be doing better today. When was this published? I mean, like, not that they have to like be sleeping together necessarily. That's fine. But okay, 2014. So this is a little bit older, but still, I don't know, guys. So I'll let you know how it goes. This one might be less of a hit than the other ones I'm reading. Been a day with my children. So for my own sanity, I'm not going to do the very exciting thing of going to the grocery store. Yay. Like get some milk and cereal and things we need. So, but I have been listening to an audiobook. I'll update you guys a little bit more later, and at least the house is clean. So that's exciting. Good morning. So as you can see, I've been doing my makeup and drinking coffee and watching BookTube. My dear friend Mara Books like, whoa, sorry, that was like a bad place to pause her face. Sorry, Mara. So I want to update you guys on the reading that I'm doing, because I did do some reading yesterday. I ended up not feeling super great and went to bed earlier than usual last night, but I still have some stuff to update you on. But the other thing that I wanted to do is talk about some things that came up on the bookish internet yesterday, because I think it raises some larger questions that are worth talking about in the BookTube community. And since I'm vlogging, I thought I would just go ahead and do that here. So if you are not interested in this, feel free to skip ahead. This isn't specifically related to the books that I'm reading, but it's a discussion that I think is worth having. So what happened? Do I want to get into all of the details of it? No, not really. I'm sure if you really want to, you can go and find this on Twitter. But essentially, there has been a conflict between a slightly larger creator who I'm friends with and a smaller and much younger creator who I don't know. So I don't know anything about this other creator other than the fact that they're pretty young. And basically this smaller creator sort of made a post that was airing a lot of kind of dirty laundry, I guess you could say. And, you know, there's a whole other conversation about whether we should be going to Twitter to talk about these things. But there were some pretty serious accusations that were made of emotional abuse and toxic friend groups. It was a lot. It was very, very messy. And what I want to say, first of all, is there have been accusations of victim blaming for people who are just full-heartedly supporting the larger creator in this scenario. And look, I don't doubt that there were feelings that got hurt, and I think that that feeling is valid. Do I think that Twitter is the place to address that? No, probably not. Do I think that based on the information we have, there actually was emotional abuse that was going on? Because there have been other people who've piled on who apparently know the people in the friend group and have things. It's a mess. Okay, this is not specifically what I want to talk about. But do I think that that's what was going on? look, who knows for sure? But I will say in what was said, for me as a creator, there were definitely some red flags. And I think this is a great opportunity to talk about some really important issues surrounding boundaries and expectations in online relationships and friendships. And this is not the first time that something like this has come up. This is something that I've seen in the online community pretty frequently. And usually it's not aired so publicly. You don't usually get to see all of what that looks like. But I think that sometimes there are issues with expectations that people have of online friendships or the assumptions that they make. And look, I get it. I get that, especially if there's somebody that you respect and you look up to and you really like their content and you really want to be friends with them, especially if you're younger, but not necessarily if you're younger, it can be really easy if they're kind to kind of latch on to that and want them to like be your best friend. And look, I think it's important to understand that just because somebody is really kind and warm and welcoming doesn't necessarily mean that they're your best friend. And I think there needs to be some understanding of different levels of relationships, that there are acquaintances, there are friends, and there are close friends. And those are three very different things. And that you have to take into account issues like power dynamics in terms of not just channel size, but also age. When you think about one person, especially if they're the person with a larger platform who's maybe a decade older than the younger person, the type of relationship that they're gonna have is gonna look really different and probably, not always, but often isn't going to be a super close friendship. They can be friends and they can connect on certain things and be friendly and kind and talk about books, because that's mostly what we're here for, but they're probably not gonna be like their best friend. And I think there can sometimes be some misinterpretation of that. I think there can also sometimes be some unhealthy expectations. And I see this especially with creators as they get bigger and bigger, seeing people wanting more from them than is maybe appropriate for them to give. And, you know, like people need to be able to set healthy boundaries in their lives, and that's okay. And I think especially speaking as somebody who, you know, I just turned 33, I have 2 kids, I have a husband, I have a lot going on in my life aside from BookTube and the book community, which I love. It's definitely an important part of my life, but I have a lot of other responsibilities and emotionally draining responsibilities sometimes. And so like, I know for myself, I have to set certain boundaries in relationships and in interactions with people to keep myself safe and healthy. And that is a valid thing to do. And I've seen cases with myself, with my friends, where people have unrealistic expectations of how much emotionally and in terms of time a person should give them. And look, you know, I love the community that we have. I honestly have made a few very, very close friends through this platform. And then I have a much larger community of people that I would call my friends, even though they're not like close friends or best friends. And then an even larger group of acquaintances. And, you know, for any person, you have limited time and energy. You have limited emotional capacity. And, you know, a lot of that for me also is going to like my kids and my husband. And this is fun for me and something that I want to be enjoyable. Try to be aware of your expectations. Try to be aware of those power imbalances. And I think if you are a creator, a new creator, I think it's great if bigger creators are friendly with you. And I get it. Like when I first started out, I had some in-person interactions with much larger creators. And I remember that feeling of being like, oh, I want to be part of this cool friend group. But the reality is like most of the time, there are exceptions, but most of the time those friend groups are kind of formed and they might be friendly with you and kind, but I would recommend trying to really form close friendships with your peers. And often in terms of creators, that means people who are starting around the same time as you. So for the most part, my closest friends from the BookTube community are creators that started their channels around the same time as me. And we've now been friends for years and we talk regularly. And these are like friendships and relationships that have been built up over a long time, talking through personal issues and being there for each other, where our friendship now is more than just like a low-key online friendship. It's something more significant, but that wasn't something that happened overnight. It was something where we had equal playing fields in terms of power dynamics in the relationship. So I just hope that people can try to be aware of some of those issues and hopefully not get their feelings hurt. Like, I understand that's hard. I understand, especially if you're very, very young, where everything, because I remember this, where like everything feels like a huge deal and relationships sometimes feel like life or death, but like where everything sometimes feels like a really, really huge deal emotionally in terms of relationships. But I think if you have the level of attachment to somebody who isn't actually like, and honestly, even if they are, even if it's like a family or a romantic partner, and you have the level of attachment to them where your entire world is revolving around them, or your emotions are dramatically affected by anything they do, probably that is something to address. That is something to go and talk to somebody professionally about to get help with, because that's an attachment issue. And I understand, because it's something that I used to struggle with when I was quite a bit younger. And I've grown out of it and learned to have healthy relationships with people. So I have a lot of sympathy for it, but I think recognizing it for what it is really, really important, because you're never going to have an equal and healthy relationship with that. Anyway, I've said a lot and I've talked for a while, and editing this is going to be interesting, but I just wanted to address this for our community, because I think these are things that we need to talk about. I love interacting with all of you, and I love the friendships and the acquaintances and even the really, really close friendships that I've developed over time. But I know for myself, I have certain boundaries that I set and I maintain, and I don't feel bad about that, because it's important and it's healthy to have appropriate boundaries in relationships, even in family relationships. Like, I set healthy boundaries with my parents and my in-laws when I need to, and they're normally like wonderful, but like, this is part of having healthy life and healthy relationships with romantic partners, with anybody. Anyway, I will get off my soapbox now. And I'll tell you about the books I've been reading. Hopefully that's helpful. Like, I don't want to blame victims. I have a lot of empathy for it. I get it. But I think this was blown very much out of proportion. And I think these are issues we need to talk about. And this comes up more often than you think. Anyway, okay, books. So I have been listening to Princess Ever After. This is super cheesy. So I remembered what the movie was that I was trying to talk about. It's The Christmas Prince, if you guys saw that on Netflix. This is basically like the Christmas Prince plus Jesus. Like, it's very, very cheesy and also very, very preachy. You know, it's kind of funny if you can take it for what it is and just kind of like laugh at how over the top ridiculous it is. But that's what this is. This is like a more preachy Christmas Prince. It's very cheesy. It's not like the worst thing I've ever read. Like, if I were gonna rate it right now, it'd probably be like 2.5 stars. Like, it's not good, but it's kind of funny, because I think it wants to maybe be taken more seriously than it is. Like, I don't think it's like self-aware of how bad it is. If something is self-aware of that and doing it on purpose to be silly, then I probably would rate it higher. But I think because this is trying to be more than what it is, it's like a 2.5 star read. But yeah, I'm listening to this. I think I have like less than 2 hours of listening time left, so I will update you guys when I get to it, but I suspect that's probably what it's going to be. So if that sounds fun to you, hey. And then I'm not far into it yet, but I did start The Amish Teacher's Dilemma by Patricia Davids. I'm really liking this. This is my second book by this author. The other one was also an Amish one, and it was another like pleasant surprise. And I think it's because she writes really great characters. And the same thing is happening here. I very quickly felt connected to our main character. She's a spinster. She's been reliant on her brother to support her. And so she's finally trying to spread her wings and get a teaching job and live on her own. And I'm really, really enjoying it. Like, I think she writes really good stuff. The fact that in 30 pages, I already love the characters and I'm really invested in the story, I think is impressive, especially since the book is like 200 pages long. So hopefully I can finish this up today and finish the audiobook. That would keep me mostly on track. And then I have the one other book, Lakeshire Park, left.
Hey guys. So I think this is like the 4th time I've tried to film this clip because my 3-year-old keeps screaming about a puzzle that they're working on. So, you know, we're just going to go with it. So excuse me if they're screaming in the background. So it is Tuesday night. The children should be going to bed in like an hour. I just finished listening to Princess Ever After, and it's so ridiculous. It's so cheesy. I would probably call this The Christmas Prince meets Touched by an Angel because near the end of the book, we literally get an appearance from Jesus, this mysterious man who's obviously supposed to be Jesus, and we get a miracle as a plot twist. It's very cheesy and very over the top. I didn't hate my experience of reading it, though. It was kind of entertaining. It was so dumb it was entertaining. Is it good? No, clearly not. It's not good, but you know, it was kind of fun to read because it was so silly. So I would probably give this 2.5 stars. That's book 3 done. So the exciting thing that happened today is I got a new chair and my children helped me put it together for the new desk that is half here, sitting in pieces over there, and I'm waiting for the other half of it to come so I can put it together. And then my husband will get this desk and I will have a nice big sturdy desk for my brand new computer, which I'm very excited about. I am upgrading to an iMac, and this little flimsy table can definitely not handle that, and upgrading my editing software, and I'm super excited about it. I'm really grateful, like, things kind of came together. And I have some mail I thought I would open with you guys. I have a package from Amazon. I wanted to open this on camera, but my 3-year-old decided to open it for me, so it's less of a surprise than I might have wanted. It is a very kind birthday gift from a friend, and I did kind of know this was coming. My friend Amanda from The Naughty Librarian sent me A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex White. So she was like, well, don't buy this book. And she sent a lovely little note with it. She said, happy birthday, Bethany. I read this one recently and really enjoyed it. I think you will love it too. So thank you so much to Amanda. That's really, really sweet of you. It says that it's like Firefly, which sounds great. If you can get something like Firefly, I'm definitely a fan, so I will add that to my TBR. The other thing that arrived is, I think, a bookmark from an order that I placed with Lee from Creatively Crafts. So in case you guys are at all interested, she makes all these cool bookish items, especially mugs like this. Ketterdam is made of monsters, 6 of Crows inspired. I have a whole bunch of these, many of which I bought, some of which she sent me because I am a rep for her. So like, I don't get paid for anything, but she'll sometimes send me a few things for free. I have a code down below that'll save you 15% if you guys are interested in supporting a small business owned by a mom. So I recently placed an order for a special mug she did for The Witcher, because obviously, and I know that the printing for the bookmarks took a little longer. This is the mug for the Witcher mug, which I love. Toss a coin to your Witcher, O Valley of Plenty. I have that, and there was a bookmark that came with it, and it looks like she sent me an extra one too, which is super sweet of her. So here's the bookmark. They took my choice. I want it back. Love it. And she also really kindly decided to send me a Kylo Ren one. This is cool. Don't be afraid. I feel it too. Nice. Thanks, Lee. I don't know if she'll watch this, but go support her shop. You know, she's a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids. One of them has special needs, and like, I know their family could use the support right now, and I think she just makes really great stuff too. So that said, what are my plans for the night? Well, I am planning on trying to finish reading The Amish Teacher's Dilemma. I wouldn't think that I would be that into Amish romance, but I kind of like these. She writes really great characters that I'm super invested in. Unexpectedly, they're pretty good. Hey guys, so I haven't really read much today because I spent all night doing this. My new desk arrived, and there's gonna be a computer on there. It's not done yet or organized, and I still need to add drawers. But wow, that was a lot of work. Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. Sorry I really wasn't on here much yesterday. I showed you a brief clip of this beautiful new desk that I built, and that took hours, many hours of my time. And today I still need to build the drawers for it, but it's mostly done, and I'm really, really happy with it. And then I get to set up my new computer, which is super exciting. So I am almost done with the Amish Teacher's Dilemma, and I am really enjoying it. So I have like this much left to go. I just was too tired last night to finish it, but I really like it. I feel like this is probably going to be around a 4-star read. It's just like a really sweet, quiet story, and I like the characters. The kids are really cute. It's like a nice, heartwarming story. And then I will start
my last one at some point today, so I'll let you guys know when that happens. In the meantime, I thought I would share some mail I have. So for my birthday, I bought myself a couple of shirts from a small clothing company that I really like called Jordan Dene. They make great like geeky fashion stuff, and honestly I have like way too many of their very, very soft and comfortable tank tops and t-shirts. I have a jacket from them. They should just like have me sponsor a video for them. I would do that. That would be fun. Anyway, so I ordered 2 shirts and I thought I would share. And the cool thing about it is their main shop is closed because of COVID-19, but they are offering some mystery shirts where they cost a little bit less, but you don't know for sure what you're getting. And I did peek and open last night, and I am kind of thrilled with what I got. So I'm probably gonna wear one of these today. I thought I'd show you guys, and I will model them. So I ordered a tank top, and this one says Space Witch. And then I also ordered a very comfortable, kind of large, this is like a little big, but I think it'll be cozy for that, t-shirt. And this, they actually sent me one of their V.E. Schwab lines, a Noche. It's kind of, yeah, this is definitely gonna be like a big one, but I think it'll be very comfy. Oh boy, guys, fighting over Legos. This is like 3-year-old, 6-year-old boys. It's like very exciting. Anyway, I'm gonna try on the shirts and I'll show you guys what they look like. All right, so this is the Space Witch one. It's a racerback style, which I don't usually prefer, so I might wear like another tank top underneath this, but it fits reasonably well. Yeah, it's cute. I think this will be good for summer. So I'll probably wear another tank top under it if I'm wearing it out, but for like PJs, these are just super soft and cozy. Okay, let's try the other one. And this is the other shirt. Like I said, it's like definitely loose, like it's got lots of space, but it's so soft. Like I don't know what magic fabric they use, but they are so soft and comfortable. This is why I'm like obsessed with their shirts. In case you're wondering, both of these sizes are like a 2XL because they run a little smaller. I can do like an extra large in their looser tank tops, but I feel like these sizes run a little smaller, so that's what I do. And this is if you wanted to do kind of like an off the shoulder style with another shirt underneath. This is super comfortable. I'm so excited. Anyway, check out Jordan Dene, another great small business to support during these times. All right, bye. As I guess I should have expected, it definitely took a lot more time than I thought it would. But let me show you the completed desk in all its glory. I still have to set up a new computer, but I can't really do that until I have power strips. So that's the only thing left to do, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So here it is, my many mugs from Creatively Crafts. And there they are with the drawers and the cabinets, and the computer will go there. And I reorganized my bookshelf a little bit, especially I made the top shelf here smaller because I think I had it too heavy. I had too much stuff on it and it was starting to bend in the middle. So I was like, let's fix that. All my nerdy bookish stuff. Let's just hope my children don't break things. They're pretty good about my like shelves and mugs usually. So I've just been enjoying my new desk, and I finished reading The Amish Teacher's Dilemma, and you know, like these things wrap up very quickly because they're like clean romance, so it ends with them like getting engaged and kissing, and it's really cute. I liked the characters. The hero is dyslexic, and so that's part of the conflict as well, and I liked having that representation in here. Yeah, I just really like this. It was very charming. Somewhere between like a 3.5 and 4 star. I'll probably bump it to like a 4 star, but yeah, glad that I read this. So that means that the last book I have to read is Lakeshire Park, which I'm very excited for. Hopefully this will be a fun one. And I'm probably going to start this tonight. Obviously, 5 books in 5 days. Did it happen? No, it did not. But especially considering the giant project I had with putting this desk together, I'm very happy with how this went. And I still have my computer to set up, but like I need a break from big projects. It's going to be a lot of work and time. Hello, so it is Friday evening and I'm here to update you. I've been reading Lakeshire Park and loving it, so I'll tell you about that in a minute. But first, a little bit about our day. It has been such a great day. We decided to have some family time. It was really nice and warm. I think the high was like in the 80s today in New York, and so we wore our masks. We're having a family day. Hi. Picked up some lunch on the way and walked to the Hudson River and had a little socially distanced family picnic and hung out outside, you know, maintaining social distancing standards, wearing our masks other than when we were eating in our little like outdoor place and whatever. But it was just so much fun and so nice getting to be outdoors. I think it's probably the farthest any of us have gone in the last 2.5 months. The kids haven't gone more than like 2 blocks. My husband hasn't really either. We've been in like such closed in circumstances, and so just getting to see something different was so nice and so lovely. And the weather was really beautiful and the kids had a really good time. And we also saw these guys who were practicing boxing. And my boys were like intrigued, and especially Conrad, my 6-year-old. So we had a really, really great day. Picked up Frosties from Wendy's on the way back because they are allergy friendly for my youngest with a bunch of food allergies. It was just, it's been a nice day. So then late this afternoon, I started reading Lakeshire Park. I was so tired. I didn't really start it much last night, but I am actually loving it and flying through it. It's like 9:30 at night right now and I am almost halfway. And this one is fun. It's making me laugh. It's got really great banter. It's kind of a disdain to love romance, which I tend to really enjoy. It follows a young woman trying to find a way to provide for herself and her younger sister. Their parents are dead. Their pretty horrible stepfather who's been taking care of them is kind of on his deathbed. They will be left penniless. And so when they get an invitation to Lakeshire Park by somebody that her sister had been interested in, she's determined to go and try to help them make a match as kind of the only way to save them. Except as it turns out, there is a wrinkle in this wonderful plan in the person of Mr. Peter Wood, who is also at this house party in the country trying to help his younger sister, Georgiana, make a match with the same young man. And so him and Amelia are kind of at odds over this. The first time they meet, not knowing who each other are, it doesn't go well at all. It's really, really fun. There's good banter, and then it turns into this really like sweet romance and them sharing about their lives and the difficulties they've had with their parents and things from their past, and you know, little touches and glances, and like it's really, really fun. I am like enjoying it so much. It's such a wonderful, cozy romance. This is the sort of thing that I could see keeping on my shelves and going back to and like rereading as just like a comforting, cozy, fun romance. I have definitely laughed a few times at some of the interactions. Here I am gushing about this. I thought I would probably enjoy it, but I didn't expect to love it as much as I am. I'm like flying through it, so maybe I'll finish it tonight. Honestly, like it's going really quickly and I'm probably gonna be up for like a couple more hours, so who knows, or at least get close to it. Tomorrow's Saturday, which is a long work day for me, so I'm gonna be like filming videos and editing and stuff like that. I've got to film my mid-month wrap-up, so it would be really great if I could finish this before my mid-month wrap-up maybe. I also got a package in the mail and I'm pretty sure I know what this is. My patron and longtime supporter Vi very, very kindly contributed to my coffee page as like a birthday thing and was like, tell me what book you pick. And so I know I commented back, but Vi, this is the book that I picked and I'm very excited to have it. I've heard such good things about it. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Yeah, that's what this is. It is very well packaged. Okay. It is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I am very excited to have this. I've heard so many good things about it, and I think it's got things that are funny and things that are also darker and more horror, and I've been wanting to read something by him anyway because I think he's doing interesting things with horror. This obviously has vampires in it, but it follows a group of middle-aged women in the South in the 1980s who have a book club, and they're very nice, well-spoken, handsome neighbor joins their book club, but then there starts to be strange things about him. Oh, this is so fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, so guys, it's got like the stamp that says Town of Mount Pleasant Public Library, South Carolina.
Do you see that? That's so fun. I love when books have like little details like that. That must be like the town that it's in. Yeah, I'm super excited for this. This is gonna be so cool. I did, though, just watch, I think today actually, Rachel from Shades of Orange review this, and she said that the later part of the book does get quite dark, and there's something to do with like a child predator that gets pretty intense. So like, I'm glad to know that going in, because that is one of the few things that sometimes really bothers me. So hopefully that won't be an issue. I have generally heard really, really good things about this. Good morning, happy Saturday. I'm here with my coffee and I'm about to get started doing my makeup. So I thought I would do that and chat with you guys a little bit. I finished Lakeshire Park and I really liked it. So I thought I would talk to you guys about it. And I'll put it right there so I can do my skincare, do my makeup. So I really liked Lakeshire Park. Honestly, and through most of the process of reading it, I was thinking it was probably going to be like 5 stars. I will say the ending was like, it wasn't bad, it was fine. But it was a little disappointing. Like, it could have been stronger. It felt a little bit cheesy instead of like truly romantic, unlike, guys, Rakes and Roses. The ending here, so romantic, so swoony. But that said, I think the early part of this book in particular is so good. It's got great banter, great character setup. It made me laugh. It was really fun to read. I think if you like Jane Austen style stuff with like a quiet romance, you're really going to enjoy it. I think I'm still going to land on something like 4.5 stars for this. I really liked it a lot. I wanted a little more from the ending than what I ended up getting from it, but it was still really good. I don't know, it was interesting. There's a particular character who ends up being pretty bratty and making some like very poor choices. And I, like a side character, and I sort of wish that we had a little bit more dimension to her character. She reads kind of as a villain, even though she's not really supposed to be a villain. And I wanted like a little bit more dimension. But I will say this, it's a debut, and I think for a debut, she's got a lot going for her. The banter between the hero and heroine was really great. I think some of the other character development will probably come with time, but I really liked them as characters, and I liked the way that the conflict was navigated. And a lot of it dealt with like financial things that really made a lot of sense during that time period for women who didn't have people to support them. Yeah, it was good. It's one that I, again, could see myself reading again, especially the earlier part of it, just for like kind of a cozy comfort type read. And I'm impressed, like I said, because, you know, I read these two of the proper romance line, and I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. I know a couple years ago I did a project where I went back and reread some of the Christian romances that I read as a teenager, and there were a lot of issues there. There was a lot of misogyny and like problems with gender roles and stuff like that. Neither of these books had those issues, which was really good to see. I was like, I really hope we don't. They're well done. This one is a little more overtly religious. It does have some like faith-based content in it, although it doesn't get nearly as preachy as some of the other ones, like another book I read in this video. I'll do like a little wrap up later. So if you don't want something that has like religious faith-based things in it, Lakeshire Park's a good pick. Doesn't have any of it. Rakes and Roses, like if you don't mind some of it, or if you like a little bit of it without it getting preachy. But in general, at least based on the 2 books that I've read, I like what they're doing with the proper romance line. There's kind of a variety of levels of what it is, but for people who are looking for romance and don't want sexual content, these are great. They're just really like sweet, cozy romances that are a little bit more like going and reading like a Jane Austen. And obviously like Jane Austen is a genius, and so these are not like Jane Austen level, but they're pretty good. So I would definitely read more from this line and would be happy to work with a publisher in the future for books that look of interest to me. Obviously, you know, this video is sponsored by Shadow Mountain Publishing, but as always, I'm going to give you my genuine thoughts and feelings on it. I know these aren't going to be for everyone. They're very character-driven romances, but if you like that sort of thing, I really enjoyed it.
And I would read more from Megan Walker as well. Like I said, this is her debut, and I think she does some things well that are hard to do well. Like, not everybody can write good banter between characters. Obviously, the queen of great banter in a historical romance is Tessa Dare. She is like the queen of funny, good banter. That, however, is not PG romance. But having read quite a lot of historicals, like, there are not that many authors who can do it well, and Megan Walker does it pretty well. Like, I think she's got kind of a gift for funny, sarcastic banter, and like, that is fantastic. So seeing her develop as an author, I think would be really cool. I'd be curious to see what she writes after this, and if she kind of like leans into that, I think it would be really good, because that is a selling point, at least for me. So I am going to hop off here, finish doing my makeup, get dressed, probably watch some booktube videos while I'm doing it, and then I'll be back with a wrap up of the whole experience and we'll talk about how it went. All right, so I am finished. I am back to wrap up this reading vlog. These are the 5 books I read, and I'm really happy with how this went. I knew that trying to read 5 books in 5 days was going to be an unlikely scenario, but I read all of these in about a week, which is pretty great. And obviously we had kind of some hits and misses, but I feel like generally this was a pretty positive experience, and hopefully this is helpful for some of you guys who are looking for romance that is a little more PG, or even if you just want this as a type of romance to add to your romance reading diet. This will give you kind of a feel. Okay, so obviously the big outlier here was, if I'm being honest, this is the only YA romance that I read, and it was super fun. I really, really loved it. I'm definitely going to be reading more from these authors, and I just think this is a fun, entertaining, and smart retelling of Shakespeare that addresses some of the issues inherent in the original. And if you like a prickly heroine, I think this is a really good one to pick up. I think this is also the only one that I gave 5 stars to of the books that I read, and I would say is my favorite. This was really, really great. People had told me they thought I would like it. They were definitely right. The least successful book of this experiment was Princess Ever After. This was a ride, guys. I wrote a Goodreads review. My Goodreads is always linked down below, and I kind of had a good time writing the review because this was just so ridiculous. And I put more in there if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, this is not good. But it was kind of entertaining. Also, probably the most preachy and religious of these books, which I think sometimes goes with the territory, but clearly not always if you're looking for PG stuff. You know, if you're looking for something very cheesy and silly to read that you just want to laugh at, though, this might be worth picking up for that. So this was an interesting choice. With a coupon, I got it for like $4 or something like that, and I was like, this sounds like fun. It's like Princess Diaries, and kinda, but Princess Diaries, this is better. Anyway, then of course I had Amish Teacher's Dilemma, which I enjoyed. Like, this was pretty much what I expected it to be. If you like this subgenre, I think Patricia Davids does it well. I think she writes good characters. I also think she does a good job of having stronger female characters than you sometimes get in these sorts of books where gender dynamics can be kind of weird. She does a good job of writing more equal partnerships, and I like that about her. So yeah, this was a 4-star read for me. It was like a very cozy, comforting book, and I liked that it dealt with a bigger issue with dyslexia. I tend to like my romance that has larger themes in it. I actually think this is a good choice. She's an author who I think is worth checking out because I just think she does what she does well. And then of course I have the 2 proper romances that I read from Shadow Mountain Publishing. And thank you so much to them again for sponsoring this vlog because this was really fun, and these were such a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed them. I like the covers too. I think they're really pretty. They just like feel very Jane Austen-y. Like, which would I say was my favorite? I think did I rate them about the same? So I can't remember. Did I give this 4 stars or 4.5 stars? I don't know. It was one of the 2, and this one was 4 stars. These are very, very different books, which is funny because I think I expected them to be more similar. I don't know why I expected that. They're different authors, but I liked them for different reasons. This one I would say has the most well-developed plot, and I thought had really interesting character arcs and character development. and had the most romantic ending. I really, really loved the ending of this one, but it's definitely a more serious book. So this is not something that I would recommend picking up if you're looking for something light and fluffy and fun. That is not what this is. This is dealing with more serious issues. It's dealing with addiction and alcoholism and has a lot to say about pulling yourself out of that hole. And obviously it has a positive ending, but this is not like a fun, fluffy historical romance, but definitely the most romantic ending, at least in my opinion of what's romantic. Lakeshire Park is the more fun choice. As I said, I really loved the banter between these characters. I like the way it was set up. I think this author has a lot going for her and her ability to do that. And I just had a really good time with this book for the most part. It let me down a little bit in the ending. Like, I think the ending could have been better, and maybe that's something that this author will improve on in future books. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this. Honestly, considering the project, I think this was definitely a success. I rarely rate romances 5 stars anyway, so what I'm looking for is not perfection. We only had one book that was truly a dud. This one got 2.5 stars for me. I didn't think it was very good. Even with this one, the experience of reading it was not terrible, so I don't hate that I read it. We had one book that got 5 stars. This was definitely my favorite of the bunch. And then 3 really solid books that fell into the 4.5 star range. So I'd be really interested to hear from you guys what you thought about this project. Was this useful or helpful for you in any way? Would you like to see more of this kind of thing going forward? I feel like looking for a proper romance that's going to work for you is probably a little bit tricky because you get so many different sorts of things, which is true of any romance subgenre. And so hopefully for those of you who are looking for this kind of romance, either as your primary type of romance or as just something to add in, I hope this was helpful. Hopefully you found something. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have read any of these, if you have any thoughts on them, if you have other books that you would recommend to readers who are looking for this sort of romance. And tell me what you thought of the vlog, if you would be interested in seeing me do something else like this again, because I might be interested in it. I like having this as a part of my romance diet, especially now that I know I can find things that don't have a ton of misogyny in them, because that was my biggest issue and what had kind of pushed me away from this as a genre in the past. But I think this was a successful venture. Talk to me in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.